Andor sucks! Okay, not really. Andor is actually the best Star Wars live-action show to date, in my opinion. But would I say it's the best Star Wars content or piece of media ever made? No, I would not.
Look straight into the webcam and say, Dua Lipa is the greatest pop star in history for me, please.
I would never say that.
And you might be saying, why don't you love this? I love seeing Mon Mothma cutting a rug and Cyril eating fondue. Why wouldn't you say this is the best Star Wars ever? Look, this show is amazing. It's well written, the tension is effective, and the performances are top tier. The sets look tangible and real, and the overall visual quality is amazing. There's barely any dodgy CGI scenes where you think, this looks like a cutscene from PlayStation 2 Battlefront. And these are all big wins, and it's an incredibly well-made series. But as a Star Wars fan, here's what left me wanting more. My biggest issues are the pacing and some odd creative choices. Sometimes the pacing is spot on, but other times it's slow, like watching a turtle walk with a limp. The worst part is that some of those slow scenes go nowhere. No character development, no payoff, just filler. And I do enjoy learning about the galaxy's cultures, like how Gorman feels like the France of Star Wars, just missing baguettes, berets, and striped shirts. But in a live-action Star Wars show, I think those deep dives and fluff should still tie into the main narrative somehow. Now, if you don't want to be spoiled, mute this video and look away. But don't click off the video, please. But anyway, spoilers begin. 3, 2, 1. I can't believe Andor died and it's actually Cassian's clone in Rogue One. Alright, no, that didn't happen. But let's start with 4 characters I want to briefly mention here. I wasn't a fan of Cyril in Season 1. He felt too timid and desperate to impress the Empire. But in Season 2, he's more confident and even likable. And it almost felt like they were setting up a redemption arc for him. Especially after he witnesses the Gorman massacre and realizes the people he's been spying on are just regular decent folks. So I was expecting a dramatic, alright, screw the Empire, I'm out. Especially since before the massacre he confronted Dedra and pretty much dumped her. But no, he gets headshotted by the President of France or whatever.
Boom! Headshot!
So Cassian spends half the season flip-flopping between rebel errands and keeping Biggs out of the Empire's torture ductor, and I kinda thought he already laminated his rebel loyalty card in Season 1, but nope, he's still skeptical. He does gain some patience though, especially when Biggs dumps his ass and basically says, I'm out, please send child support. He doesn't start moping or chasing after her, he does what he's told for once. But his arc feels like a rerun. We already did the whole reluctant rebel thing last season. I was ready for a competent Cassian spy mode, not more indecisiveness. It does get better by the end, but it's a little exhausting. Dedra gets demoted from chasing Luthen and reassigned to the Gorman project instead. And somehow, she and Cyril are a thing now. I still don't see the chemistry. They look like two co-workers who got trapped in the same elevator and just decided, close enough. Their relationship felt like a weird power exchange more than anything romantic. She stands up to Cyril's overbearing mum, gives him promotions, opens doors for him in the Empire, but I just didn't see them as romantic partners. She stays focused on crushing the rebellion with discipline and ruthlessness, but by the end, I actually felt bad for her. She did everything right and followed the rules, and the Empire still chewed her up and spat her out. It was betrayal from the very system she believed in. And the worst part of all, they didn't even bother to laser off that giant mole on her face before tossing her in the cell. I enjoyed Mon Mothma's arc, even though it started way too slowly. First, she faces the reality of the danger she's in, and then she has her final battle, which is the speech where she calls Palpatine a monster. And I loved that scene. It was tense, and the speech made me really excited, and it was followed by a nerve-wracking escape from the Senate. Probably one of my favorite episodes in the season. But that still doesn't excuse those first 3 episodes, where half of her storyline felt like the plot was just buffering on a hotel Wi-Fi. Which brings me to my next point. This show has way too many scenes that go absolutely nowhere. The kind of scenes where the writers and editors decided to extend the runtime to get more watch time on the Nielsen ratings. Like, we're sitting through scenes at Mon's daughter's wedding where Leda's talking about how her fiancé doesn't touch her enough. And then we get a 3-minute slow dance from the newlyweds. And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell are we doing here? The only part I liked about the whole wedding was Mon Mothma breaking down and then just vibing to that banger which we all added to our playlists. And apparently the creators loved it too. So much so that they made Genevieve O'Reilly dance for a whole hour straight just to drop that 1 hour of Mon Mothma dancing video on the official Star Wars channel. Alright, so just dance for an hour to this track. And what do I get for this? A 5-minute head start at the cast buffet and 15% of the video's ad revenue. Deal. There was also no point having the annoying and whiny rebels in the first 2 episodes. We never saw them again, and it literally just dragged, at least for me. Were they important to the plot? No. Did they matter? No. Were they just there to fill runtime and give Cassian an excuse to peace out and go do the real storyline? Yes. And another thing, why did we watch a video for a whole 2 minutes about the spiders on Gorman when immediately after Krennic pauses it, he's like, oh yeah, this meeting is not about the spiders, by the way. Okay, so what the hell did we watch an hour-long David Attenborough documentary about the stupid spiders for? So many things could have been cut or deleted and not have these weird scenes that add no value to the story other than cool world-building details. Director Krennic arrange an exclusive meeting about the Gorman project, but make sure to waste everyone's time for 3 minutes with a documentary about Gorman spiders, which have absolutely nothing to do with the meeting. But sir, don't you think... Dead! Where are the aliens in this show? They treated non-human species like Easter eggs. You can probably count them on one hand the whole season. For some reason, the production team decided that Zoom calls on janky iPads look cooler than holograms. The in-world explanation is apparently that the hologram tech is expensive and the rebels can't afford it. And yeah, sure, fair enough. But then why is the Empire using FaceTime too? Like, yeah, they have limited budgets as well, but maybe they could at least have one holotable for the ISB? Alright, so should we order the new holos for the ISB HQ? No. Okay. Now, I don't know how realistic this would have been, but since Ian McDiarmid clearly loves playing Palpatine and still shows up to Star Wars events, wouldn't it have been awesome to see him cameo in Andor? Imagine Krennic reporting him about the Death Star plans, or better yet, Palpatine watching Mon Mothma's speech where she calls him a monster, and then we could see him getting infuriated and snapping a guard's neck with the Force. Or, if they couldn't get Ian, just do a hooded close-up and have him say, "Arrest her immediately." I would have been so happy if that happened.
Monster who will come for us all soon enough is Emperor Palpatine.
It's treason, then.
And speaking of Mon's speech, we spent so much time earlier in the season with her family. I kinda expected some reaction shot from them when she basically commits treason on live television. Like, show us Perrin and Lita watching the broadcast, jaws on the floor, Perrin spitting his space whiskey. A quick cut to their horrified faces during the speech would have made the scene so much better. So what if I told you one of the coolest, most brutal things in Andor is that Grand Moff Tarkin literally kills 500 unarmed people by landing a cruiser on top of them. Sounds insane, right? Whoa, was it gory? How'd it go down? How'd it go down? I'll tell you how it went down. Off screen! Like, what the hell? It's like if instead of watching Palpatine and Yoda fighting in the Senate, we just hear someone gossiping about it to Mon Mothma at a party. Oh, dear me. Well, that must have been cinematic. Anyway, my husband's about to perform a ceremonial dance. Let's watch for the next 3 minutes. With no dialogue. This was prime opportunity to show, not tell. Imagine they started an episode with 17 years earlier and then just showed Gorman kids playing hopscotch in the plaza, and then Tarkin's like, they charge how much for parking? Yeah, never mind that, let's just land on the plaza. Finally, Star Wars gave us a good example of how to represent LGBTQ characters properly with Vel and Cinta. Characters who actually drove the narrative and meant something, rather than tacking on a kissing scene at the end as a lazy afterthought. Might as well have had Rey pull out a pride flag from her Jedi robes and say, somehow, now we also support the LGBTQ community. I actually didn't mind that big scene on Mina Rao. When she overpowered the Imperial officer and called him out to his co-worker, that was badass in my opinion. Some people said it was too disturbing and dark, but honestly, there were more disturbing things in Revenge of the Sith.
There are too many of them. What are we
I also love how the hotel concierge says the line from Rogue One.
Rebellions are built on hope.
And then Cassian looks at him like, that sounds familiar. Oh yeah, it's that quote from that movie I was in 2 years in the future. And I also love the fact that he's just randomly drawn to that one broken Imperial security droid like, there's something in this. Wilman, you go find another one of these that we didn't break and convince it to be my best friend. Overall, Andor is a great and well-written show. It's got great performances, the set pieces and costume designs are amazing, the tension is great when it's there, and while I enjoy it for what it is, as a Star Wars fan, it wasn't that thing that excites me the most about Star Wars personally. Andor is great TV, but for me, it isn't the greatest Star Wars. I'll give Andor a 9 out of 10. Like and subscribe for more. Bye bye now.
Meet the Gorman spider. The experts have a fancier word. Don't they always? They call them gorlectopods. Whatever you call them, there's no denying their dedicated work habits, spinning from dawn to that term.
Spiders are not the most unique thing in Gorman.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. I want everybody now. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Like and subscribe. Everybody now, buddy now, buddy now.